welcome to our weekly Wednesday chat. I am Anne La Follette, and I'm a blogger, illustrator, and surface pattern designer. And I love to come live here on Wednesdays to talk about what's going on in my creative journey. And last week, I attended this incredible conference called the Kajabi Impact Summit, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit today. Kajabi is the platform that I have my monthly membership, the Pattern Design Club, on, and also all of my paid courses. So I have a variety of courses on surface design, and they all are housed on the Kajabi platform. My most recent course is my signature course called the Pattern Design Academy that many of you guys took earlier this year, and that I will be launching again in May. And it had an incredible array of speakers. These are all speakers who have multi-million-dollar businesses in the online education space. And the online education space is a thriving industry. It's growing in leaps and bounds. It's billions and billions of dollars. And so these gurus of the online in the online education space, and also some of them are in the social media space. So I wanted to share sort of 3 key takeaways that I had from the conference, and they're one each from my sort of 3 big kind of go-to people in the online space who I hugely admire and hugely respect. So the first one is Amy Porterfield. And for those of you who don't know Amy Porterfield has been in the online education space for over 10 years now. She lives in Carlsbad, California, which is in the San Diego area. She is an amazing teacher and coach, and she teaches you how to create courses, online courses, digital courses. So it's very meta because she teaches how to do online courses, and you're creating an online course when you take her course. And one of the things that she is known for and has an incredible reputation in the industry around is that she is very much of a step-by-step instructor. And she wants to deliver value, and she wants to also try to help you get the education that you need and the step-by-step process you need to be successful and get you to the finish line as quickly as possible. And so I have taken her courses over the course of the last 1.5 years. I started with her course called List Builders Lab, which is an amazing course about how to build your own email list. And the philosophy in the online education space is that it's absolutely critical for you to build your own email list, because you then own the relationship with your customers. You can talk to them by emailing to them. You can get feedback from them by asking them to fill out surveys. You can make sure that you understand what it is that they need so that you can deliver value to them week after week after week. And then also, as you create a portfolio of courses to offer, they will be your students. They will be the first ones who will know you and trust you and like you and want to learn from you, and therefore buy your courses. But creating that list and getting started, and everyone starts from zero, is one of Amy's specialties. And then her second area of expertise is not only how to create a course and make an effective course, but then also she uses webinars as the methodology that she uses to sell her courses. She gave an incredible presentation at the conference, and one of the things I wanted to make sure that I shared with you was one of the key takeaways from her. And one of the key takeaways from her was that you need to take action every day. And many of you who are here with me today are in some of my surface pattern design programs, and this is a mantra that we tell each other all the time, right? We tell each other, listen, take action, even if it's a small step, every single day, because you'll make progress towards your surface design business goals. And also, whether it's a hobby or a serious business, you will make progress towards your end goals if you do something every single day towards those goals. And so her quote specifically was, take action every day. Ask yourself, did you do something today that is going to impact the goal you're going after? And that if you use that as a filter, you will definitely be prioritizing the right things, you'll be spending your time in the right way, and you'll be making progress to get towards your goals faster. There's a little snippet of the introduction, her introduction when she came on stage initially, and you can hear everybody in the audience going completely crazy because she has an amazing fan base, because she delivers incredible value all of the time, both free value and then amazing value in her paid courses. And so she's someone who I love to model myself after. One of the other speakers who I wanted to talk about is James Wedmore. And James Wedmore actually came out of UCLA Film School, and he initially was in the film space. He was a big YouTuber. He became quite famous on YouTube, teaching people how to use video effectively to grow their businesses. And then he talked at the conference about going beyond the course. You know, how to double the revenue and deepen the impact that you have with an overarching sort of product and business plan. And he is an incredibly engaging speaker. He's very down to earth as well. He was just wearing a surfer shirt and I think of just a pair of jeans. There's a snippet from his closing remarks that's in my blog if you want to pop over there to watch the snippet and just see what he looks like. Super super laid back, but incredible advice. And so what I wanted to share with you that he told us while we were there was, don't wait until you have all the answers before you get started. Action creates clarity. I wanted to talk about that for a couple of minutes because that really, really resonated with me. His mantra is, don't wait until you have all the answers before you get started. Action creates clarity. And I have written in the past several blog posts last year about how important it is to just start, and that taking those first couple of steps really helps you define the direction you want to go in. You also get feedback right away, or have the ability to get feedback right away as to whether what you're providing your audience is resonating with them, and that you are going to learn so much more when you put your work out into the world than if you keep it, if you keep it sort of behind a firewall, for lack of a better description. But his take on that is a little different in the sense that he completely agrees with this idea that you have to get started and don't wait to have every single answer before you start to put your work out into the world. And because from his perspective, you're going to gain more clarity from each of those actions that you take. And I just thought that was a brilliant way to kind of think through. So my mantra is, yes, I want to make sure that I'm putting my work out into the world. I want to get a reaction to it. I want to see what resonates. I want to do that when I'm putting my blog post out, or I want to do that when I'm talking to you here. Is what I'm saying important or relevant, or does it resonate you? Is it going to help you move forward in your business? And if I don't put myself out here on Facebook every week and talk about these topics, I'm not going to know, right? I'm not going to be able to go back and look at the stats and say, well, how many people joined me live, and how many people watched the replay, and what kind of comments did I get? So I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you as well, because the other thing that happens through the clarity you get from action is you may start in one direction like I did. So a year ago when I was first starting in surface design, I was going for physical products. I was creating designs, I was putting them on notebooks, I was selling notebooks at pop-up shops, I was also selling them on print-on-demand sites, like here's one of my phone cases that is available in my shop within Society 6. And then as I continued to hone my own skills and also engage in this incredibly supportive community that's called Surface Pattern Design, I then realized that I love to teach. I love to be able to actually be one of the few teachers in the space who will take your work and answer, will take your email, answer your email, have you send me your work, and then I'll send you a video back describing what you need to do next or teaching you a new technique. And that being one of the very, very few teachers in the space who actually has that personal connection to her audience is something that I gained clarity with over time. When I started last year, I thought I was just going to continue to go down this licensing path and the physical products path and potentially move into creating notebooks, for example, for major live events like the one I was just at. And yet over time, because I continued to put my work out there while I was continuing to learn, I realized that actually my joy, my greatest joy, comes from teaching and from helping others make progress and from being able to provide the personalized attention that I can provide because my business is still small. And that's what brings me the most joy, is that personal interaction. So again, his quote, "Don't wait until you have all the answers before you get started. Action creates clarity," was just absolutely brilliant. So the last one that I want to share with you is from Jasmine Star. She actually went to law school and dropped out of law school, and then because she wanted to be a photographer. And she married her high school sweetheart, and he was completely supportive. He actually bought her first camera, and she won an international photography award, I think a couple of years ago. She's an incredible photographer, and she has a wonderful monthly membership called Social Curator. She is incredibly down to earth, and she's also very much of a believer in giving you tough love in terms of telling you what kind of work is involved in terms of being successful. And so her quote that I wanted to share was, "Success isn't luck. It isn't getting a break or having connections. Success is showing up every day when no one is watching and honing your craft even when you doubt that something will come of it." Because in our social media saturated world, sometimes it can just feel like you look at other people's feeds or you look at what other people are doing and you start to feel bad and you start to feel like, oh my God, they're just like an overnight sensation, or they are. Another speaker who was there is Rachel Hollis, and Rachel Hollis has been publishing books for 10 years. She's been doing live events for 10 years, and yet her book, Girl, Wash Your Face, is an international bestseller. I think it's been on the New York Times bestseller list for the entire year. And so everybody thinks that she's like an overnight sensation. And one of the points that she made at the conference was, I am not an overnight sensation. I have been working my butt off for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, one of my books broke through. I think it's her 7th book. And now she has a brand new one that's called Girl, Stop Apologizing. They're fabulous books, and she was really, really wonderful. But Jasmine kind of, I can relate more to Jasmine because Jasmine, again, said success is not about luck. It's not about getting a break. It's not about the connections that you have. It's about showing up every day when no one's watching. And it's honing your craft and making sure that you're staying true to what you really want to accomplish and putting those blinders on and starting to sort of ignore all that noise and making sure that you are showing up every single day. And just like Amy said, you have to take small steps every single day to move forward. And like James said, get your work out into the world. Don't wait until you have all the answers, because a lot of action will bring a lot of clarity. So all 3 of them, I thought, worked together to weave a beautiful tapestry about how to support us as entrepreneurs and as creatives, and especially in the service design world. So I wanted to make sure that I came on to let you know how incredibly motivating it was, how fun it was, and then also just talk a little bit about the panel that I was on. And one of the things we talked about was how do you overcome the fear of technology? To tell yourself, yes, you can. You also have to make sure you take it slow and go through the steps as many times as you need to when you're figuring out something new. Then you have to make sure you give yourself grace, because it's not always going to work. Some part of the technology may break, so give yourself grace. Then make sure that you're celebrating every single win. That's really, really important. And then I also believe that enjoying the journey, especially for somebody like me who just turned 60, I want to be in this space. I want to learn this technology. I wanted to get it to all work, and I want to enjoy the process because it's so incredibly empowering to be somebody who's in my age cohort who is like rocking the Adobe Illustrator and is rocking being an online entrepreneur and is learning all of this technology that I could not even imagine that I would have either needed to learn or been able to learn even just 5 years ago. And so on the panel, I made this analogy around technology. I sort of used an analogy of learning how to ride your bike. And so I'm sure that almost all of you, probably all of you, let me know, probably all of you remember learning how to ride a bike. And the first thing about learning how to ride a bike is that you really wanted to learn how to do it because it was super cool. And so you had that voice in your head saying, yes, I can. I'm sort of scared. I've got butterflies in my stomach, but yes, I can. I know I can do it. And then you also remember that you took it slow. You started on a tricycle when you were really young. You graduated to a bicycle with training wheels when you got a little older. And then when you were ready, your dad, most likely, or someone in your family took the training wheels off and ran alongside you until you got your balance, and then they let you free. And you were on your way. So the yes you can towards technology and your bike ride, I thought worked well. Also taking it slow is really, really important. And then on your bike, you fell down frequently. You might have even broken your arm at some point. And when technology breaks, but you gave yourself grace, right? You got back up on the bike. You definitely were not going to give it up. You still wanted to have the freedom that it was going to allow you. And so when you have those stumbles in technology, you're not actually going to get hurt, right? You're going to get ego scratches potentially, or scrapes and bruises, but you're not physically going to break your arm or anything like that. And so giving yourself grace applies in both instances, I think, really, really accurately. And then celebrating the wins. I mean, I remember when I got better at riding my bike, how many of you also got to the stage where you could ride without holding onto the handlebars? And it was kind of like, Ma, look, no hands, where you were riding your bicycle and you didn't even have to hold on to the handlebars. That was like an incredible celebration. And maybe it happened when nobody was watching and it didn't matter if anybody was watching, but you had that incredible sense of empowerment and freedom and accomplishment inside yourself when that happened. And that's what happens also when you have incredible successes with technology, whether in surface design, it's creating your first repeating pattern that's perfect and that's working. And it's like that sense of accomplishment and that joy of knowing the steps and then being able to replicate those steps over and over and over again. Just like once you know how to ride a bike, you know how to ride a bike forever. And it's an incredible feeling of freedom. And then again, enjoying the journey. I mean, when you're on your bike, you could leave the house, you could go visit your friends, you could go farther and farther, depending on where you lived in the world. If you were out in the country, you could go down beautiful country roads and feel the breeze going through your hair, and that just sense of incredible, both empowerment because you were able to do this thing, ride your bike or get all this technology to work, was just an incredible feeling. So that was primarily what I talked about on the panel, and literally I think I took longer right here to do it than I had on the panel. I think that I did it in 3 minutes. And then the other question was just, you know, what would you want to tell your younger self? And what I basically said there was, I would have told my younger self not to get stuck in my corporate job for 25 years, but to start asking those questions about what truly brings you joy and finding the confidence to pursue those dreams. And that I'm so incredibly blessed now to have as my tagline, it's never too late to create. Because even though I spent those 25 years in a corporate job and am grateful for those years and everything I learned and all of the amazing community and support I got when I was there, now I'm really on the path that I think God meant for me to have. So have a great rest of your day. You guys know I love to close by saying, I'm Anne La Follette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now. I'll see you all next week, if not sooner.